Welcome to Meg's Mysteries. The Plant Lady. There's an old lady in our town everybody goes to for life's advice and plants. She has all kinds, anything your heart desires. She grows them herself with love. She always says, "They're like my children and only go to the worthy." Sometimes she gives a class on how to make your plants survive, and you get a diploma at the end. Some of them are very exotic and hard to grow, but that doesn't stop her. She even has a beware sign on some of her plants, but I'll get back to that later. Yes, old Mrs. Gardner is well known and loved in our town. Everyone calls her Mrs. G. One time I remember she had our fourth grade class come for a field trip. She taught us to be kind to all plants. Bees and butterflies are our friends. Even the boys paid attention. One, Tommy Jones, who was the class clown, he even behaved himself. She had a way about her. She was kind, but also fierce at the same time. I heard rumors that she could be a witch, but that's just silly, right? She does know how to grow all kinds of herbs and things that people have never heard of. Even the town doctor, Doc Brown, said, "She'll put me out of business one day. People go to her for all kinds of natural remedies. But you gotta love her. They all seem to work better than my medicines that I give 'em." Yes, we all grew up with Mrs. Gardner's cures for all that ails us. Now I'm in high school, and I'm going to interview her for the school's newspaper. I want to be a journalist, and this is a good practice for me. We're going to meet today after school. I'm excited to hear her story. So I go to her home, and she's in a large greenhouse in the back. She has 4 and a huge garden. I don't know how she keeps it so neat. Must be very hard work for a woman of her age. In one of the greenhouse, it says "Off Limits." There's a sign, "Enter at your own risk. Exotic plants from all around the world. Keep out unless invited." I'll have to ask her about that later. Right now, she's going to tell me her story. "Oh, Lacey, I'm all yours," she says. "Ask me anything. It's a pleasure to help you with your assignment." I said, "Thank you so much for taking time out. Just tell me all about yourself and where you came from. And why do you love plants so much?" "Well, my dear, I came from a small town outside Rapid Falls, South Dakota. It was near Mount Rushmore. It was a lovely place to live. And then I married Mr. Gardner. We moved here and raised our family. I have 2 sons and 1 daughter. But they all moved away. They wanted me to move with them when my husband died. But I love it here, and I loved our life here. And I feel he's still with me and helps me run the place." I thought, oh well, she is old, and if it helps to keep her happy to think her dead husband is still around, what could it hurt? Then I noticed 3 cups and plates out for tea. She smiled and said, "He loves tea time. I still put a cup and a plate out for him every time." Then she started telling me all about her plants and her vegetables. She seemed so proud of them, like they were her grandchildren. We took a tour and then came back for our tea. She even poured 3 cups of tea and placed a piece of cake on each plate. As I sipped mine, I noticed the tea and the cake were gone from the 3rd cup, but no one touched them. Crazy, right? Then we got interrupted. A lady came and said, "I need your special help." Mrs. Gardner asked if we could reschedule. I said, "Of course, tomorrow, okay?" "Of course, my dear," she said. And then she showed the lady to the exotic plant hothouse. As they walked, I heard her say to her, "I have just the thing you need. We'll take care of your problem." I thought it odd. It was a very hot day, but the lady had on a hat, silk scarf, jacket buttoned up her neck, and dark sunglasses. It looked like she didn't want to be seen. I will ask Mrs. G to see the greenhouse tomorrow and get the story of why it was off limits. The next day was Saturday, so I got up early and I went. She was hard at work already. I told her I love plants too, and if she ever needs help, I'd love to help her. "Oh my," she said, "that's great. Just what I need, a new apprentice to take over my life's work. I think you'll do fine. Right, Mr. Gardener?" I just smiled. She thinks she's really talking to him. Oh well, whatever, it keeps her happy, and now I have a new job. After school, weekends, and summer. I bet I will learn a lot from her, and it'll be fun. So I finished my report, leaving out our conversation with Mr. G. I don't need to report that she might be losing it. She told me her people grew everything and used natural remedies, and she'll teach me it all. But I had to promise to keep her secret to myself. Her children never wanted to learn, and she must pass on her wisdom to a younger person before it's too late, she said. She knew she was getting old and time was running out. She told me many people depended on her, and it'll be up to me from now on if I was willing to take up the cause. I said, "Of course," but I was thinking, boy, gardening, is it that important? Then my education started. I finally got to see the exotic hothouse. Boy, what a surprise that was. All kinds of plants I've never heard of, and what they were for. That's what really shocked me. She showed and told me all about each one and what they were for. Belladonna, a deadly nightshade poison plant. All parts are toxic. The berries are the greatest danger. The suicide tree, pong seeds, is highly poisonous. Death occurs from heart blockage. Oh my. Coriander plant. Poison occurs when someone eats the flowers or chews the leaves or stems. Then there's the hemlock. All parts are poisonous. Just to name a few. She had so much more growing in there, and she showed me them all. I asked, why would someone need all these poison plants? She told me, "Well, my dear, you remember the lady who came for my help the other day?" I said, "The lady that was all covered up?" She told me she was beaten up by her husband and almost killed. She couldn't leave him. He always found her and brought her back. And no one will believe her because he was a rich politician and well liked. But in reality, he was a monster. He's been hurting her for years. She needed something to stop him before he killed her. "What did you give her?" She told me, "Just some seeds from the pong plant. He already had a bad heart, and this would just give him a boost." I was shocked. Again, twice in one day. Such a sweet old lady. Helped murder people? She kept explaining, "Only the ones who really need my help. My late husband started this, and I had to keep it going." I asked, "How many people did you both help?" She just smiled and said, "Too many to remember. Most were not from around here, but somehow the word got out, and we just kept it going after the first one. But only those who really deserved to die, we made sure of that. And of course, the ones who we helped all were very grateful for our help with their problems. We were paid well for our help and our silence." How can I stay? Maybe the rumors are right. She must be a witch, or a mad person, a murderer. Should I turn her in? Like she read my mind, she said, "I know I put you in a difficult position, and you can report it all, but I hope you don't. So many people still need my help these days." What should I do? I could take her up on her cause, as she called it, or should I run and tell, or not tell and just get out of there? She always helped with the home remedies, the good ones that don't kill. My family and most of the town always used her when we were sick. So I decided to stay, learn, and help. I was a quick study, and I learned everything. As we tended the exotic plants, she smiled and said, "I love all my plants. Aren't they lovely?" I said, "Yes, they are." And Mr. G is still here, too. He's not much help with the work, but he makes her happy. that he's still with her, although I've never seen him, but I can feel his presence. I know you all must think me as nuts as she is, but what would you have done? Who knows what's right or wrong? She's only trying to help the hopeless. And who can resist that smiling face? Such a sweet old lady. So remember that when I take over, will you? I'm just here to help. Thanks for watching and listening to Meg's Mysteries. More to come.